We are underway, broadcasting to you from our North Catholic Studios in Cranberry Township for this 6th episode of our podcast on North Catholic Athletics. My name is Alex Brown.
And I'm Ryan Barrett.
And together, we are your hosts for this podcast as Ryan WPIAL is done here for our fall sports. And now we're knee-deep in state action now.
Yes, they are, Alex. The volleyball team won their championship 3-1 against South Fayette Lions. A good win for them. They lost their first set of the year, but now they're on the States, winning their first matchup in a sweep against Latrobe 3-0. A couple of the sets, though, were a little dicey. Really, a couple close ones, so I'm sure the team wasn't too happy about that, but they were able to get the sweep nonetheless with a dominant third set. But they're ready to dominate the next round, too, against Hollidaysburg they're playing up at
Derry on Saturday at 1 o'clock. But their game against South Fayette, Ryan, as you said, they lost their first set in conference this year. And it happened in, I believe it was the third set that they played. After a close first two, South Fayette came out and they really showed out in that third set. They beat North Catholic 25-12 in that set and really put North on their heels going into the fourth set. But they battled back, the girls battled back, and they won that fourth set, giving them their third straight WPIAL championship under Coach Fetter. And this one is their first one up at 3A with moving up this year, and it's been a tremendous year so far, and I'm sure it will continue to be. Hollidaysburg will be a nice challenge. Latrobe made every set, as you said, close against them. I'm sure Hollidaysburg will be much of the same. And you really can't there's no point. You can't take teams lightly at this point. This is the best. This is what you play for each year, is to go into the playoffs in states.
Yeah, definitely, and they're looking forward to it, and they want to make this state's run. I mean, they won the 3A championship their first year in 3A dominantly. They won every game dominantly, and I don't really know how South Fayette, who's by far the best team North has played all year, I don't know how they were the 10 seed.
I know, that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe some of their players were hurt.
And they beat Latrobe in the WPIAL playoffs, and then Latrobe comes to North this past Tuesday, the 8th, and North sent them home early on their long drive back. But North just dominance, complete and utter dominance this year, and this is the third championship, WPIAL championship in a row for the junior class too. That's been here all 3 years, and Alex Sepcic is one of those juniors that has won a WPIAL championship in each of her years here at North Catholic. And let's see what her thoughts are on the season so far.
We're here with North Catholic Trojan volleyball player Alex Sepcic. Alex, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Alex, first off, congratulations on a great season thus far. And with this being your first year in 3A for volleyball, what were your expectations before the year even started as a team?
Well, we knew this was definitely going to be a tougher year, moving up a section. That means bigger teams, more intense play. And so we just kind of went into it thinking, hey, let's take this as an opportunity to grow, to get better, have some fun, play some good volleyball, and, we just went into it with an open mind. So, yeah.
Alex, this is now your third straight WPIAL championship in volleyball. Like, how special is three-peat been, and has this one been more special than the other ones in any way?
Oh, it's incredible. I think this one definitely means a lot, considering even though we're already coming off of a WPIAL championship in 2A last year, this year it's even more incredible considering we just moved up to 3A. And so I think it means a lot more to me, and I got to play with a lot of seniors that I'm 100% going to be missing next year, so it means a lot more.
Absolutely. And those seniors that you've had on this team, 9 seniors, and what have they meant to both yourself, as you just said, that they meant a lot to you, and the team in general, the leadership that they've given to this team?
Yeah, so I played with, I think, about 4 of them through grade school. So, knowing them for this long and just being able to play with them and know their mannerisms and to create that team. We have such a great team family bond considering how many seniors we have and the immense amount of leadership we have on our team. It's an incredible feeling, and there's no other way to describe it besides like a family. And I'm going to miss them all so much next year because they're a really integral part of our team.
So in conference, you only lost 1 set all year, and that was in the championship game. Moving up to 3A, how are you able to be so dominant in every single set? Not even slip up against some games you may overlook teams or may not be able to get up for. I guess, every game.
So, I mean, there were definitely some games where we might have went into it with the wrong attitude, but I think what we have that not a lot of other places do is we have consistency and we have a lot of energy. And so even if you are just sitting on the bench, we can hear you from the bench. And we, no matter what, we're always loud. We're always supporting each other. We're always like with each other at all times. You can always have someone to lean back and fall back on. So, I mean, I think it's just having that consistency in like your teammates and trusting your teammates is so important. And we have just like a great bond between everyone. So,
and that ability to feed off each other during when it's from for the first point against a bad team to the last point against that same bad team. It's the bench is always involved.
Yes.
How do you start by getting that team chemistry? Obviously, the seniors. There's so many seniors, but next year you're going to be without those seniors.
Yeah.
But that's still. I have confidence that that's still going to remain the same. That same feeding off each other. Where does that start? And is that like that in practice as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think we have such a fun chemistry on the team I think we all just like kind of just let loose and have fun. And the seniors this year have built such a great like chemistry and all the people sitting on the bench, all the underclassmen, the sophomores, the freshmen, they're all seeing that now from them. And so they know to, next year they got to pick it up, got to have some energy, because that's what Coach Amanda always asks of us in practice. Even if we're having a bad day, bring your 100% in energy and effort all the time. And so having that on the bench is so important to the people on the court. And, whenever you come into that huddle after a timeout, after a rough play or whatever, you're going to have a whole group of girls coming towards you telling you you got this next one, moving on. So, yeah, it's very important.
Awesome. So you guys swept your first state matchup 3-0. Some of the sets may have been a little bit closer than you would have liked. Does that give you any added motivation for the next round to maybe make those more dominant and get another sweep?
I think so, definitely. I think we can keep sweeping as long as we keep our heads, keep our cool, stay consistent. And I think slowly, if we progressively make those goals to, make the sets a little bit more spread out, create some space between the points, I think we'll be completely fine in the next few sets.
All right, thank you for your time, Alex. It's a great interview. Good luck in the rest of the playoffs.
Thank you so much.
And you just heard from Alex Sepcic, a great interview there, and they're looking forward to the rest of the postseason. And Alex will be a key contributor to this team next year as well for North Catholic. She'll probably be the leader on this team, as she has already started this year with a whole heck of a lot of seniors on this series team.
And she's gotten, as you said, a lot of playing time, and it just shows what a great player she is on and off the court, and her relationship with the players, as she said, that's meant so much to her. And that's what makes this team great, Ryan, is that family feel, as she called it, that they have, that bond they have between each other. That's the hallmark of a great team, when you're really able to support each other through the good times and the bad. And now let's talk about girls soccer, who had another team that had a great
season.
Great season.
Undefeated in conference. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a championship and lost in the semis to Avonworth and the WPIALs. And a close one, a tough one, 2-1.
Heartbreaker.
Yep. It was a heartbreaker, 2-1 to Avonworth. Won the consolation in dominant fashion.
They did.
Which put them into states.
South Park.
Against South Park, yep. And then first round in states, they played a good team in Fort LaBeouf, who won their division. And it was close. So North Catholic went down 1-0, tied it up. Went down 2-1, tied it up. Lauren McDonald scored the first one. Chloe Carsman scored the second one. It went into overtime, and unfortunately, the Trojan Nats could not pull it out. It was a heartbreaker. But under first year, Coach Harvis is his first year as head coach. I mean, it was a very successful year with only 3 seniors. I mean, obviously, Lauren McDonald was the core of this team. You'd say the heart and soul of the team, but there's a lot of core players that are moving up. Simone Sharpless, who was unbelievable this year, was only a freshman.
Simone was great.
Lily Carsman, Carly Rivetti. That just obviously there's a bunch of players I'm missing as well. But the seniors, they'll be missed.
Absolutely, and those seniors, those being Laura McDonald, Elle McKenzie, and Brittany Cullen, really played above and beyond what we could have expected them to play this year. Obviously, Lauren, we just had National Signing Day on Wednesday here at North Catholic and across the country, and Lauren officially signed to go to her commitment to Rhode Island to play soccer there, and she's had a phenomenal year, the leading goal scorer in North Catholic. And Simone Sharpless, the freshman this year, had a remarkable season. Really, really remarkable. The second leading scorer on North Catholic this year, and she's going to just get better and better and better over the rest of her time here at North Catholic. And Chloe Karsman, as you said, scored in that game against Fort LaBeouf. And she's a freshman this year too, as she'll get increased minutes. Kate Caldwell and Jillian Kennedy, they couldn't play in the playoffs this year due to their WPIAL ineligibility because they transferred over this year, so they couldn't play in the playoffs. And they're going to be a great, even more prominent part of this team going into next year. It's going to be a big senior class next year. As you said, Lily Karsman, Carly Rivetti, among those that will be seniors next year. And there will be stuff that will have to, people that will have to step up as well. Riley Rocone will get a lot more time playing. Reagan Young. Lauren Mealy is going to be a huge part of this team moving forward. PD, as they call her. And it'll be a good team next year as well. Really good team. And that success at North Catholic will just keep on continuing.
Definitely will be, and you just got to think that at some point next year there'll be a playoff matchup between the Avonworth Lopes and North Catholic Trojanettes because their core players will be back as well.
Absolutely. Played 7 times in the last 2 seasons. Avonworth lost their first matchup in the playoffs this year. I don't remember what team it was, but they lost 5-1 at home in their first round of the state playoffs after they won the WPIAL championship. And it was a great season for Avonworth too, and those, as you said, those 2 teams will clash again next year. But these girls on the soccer team, they really fought for each other after losing to Avonworth. Some teams might have lost that constellation game as constellation game.
I didn't know if you were going to let it go or not.
No, I got it correct now. Constellation game. But some teams might have lost that game, but they were able to battle back. They battled back, and they fought for each other to get one more game. And they played Fort LaBeouf real tough, who's a sleeper team coming out of the north, because who knows who they play up there. They dominated that division.
Actually lost in the playoffs 5-1. I heard in their match.
That's exactly, yeah, exactly. They won the WPIAL championship, correct? We'll confirm that by the end of this podcast. But it was definitely they definitely made it there. But Avonworth losing that first round of states, it's kind of bittersweet. I mean, it's nice that it's kind of vindictive that they were maybe hoping that they were going to lose once we lost, but it ended up happening that way, and it'll be a great matchup to follow in the years to come here at North Catholic, and we look forward to seeing this team back out on the field next season.
Avonworth did win.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And who they beat?
Fiona Mahan had 2 goals as Avonworth took down Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant. I remember saying
Fiona
that.
Mahan is excellent. Yeah, absolutely. And they beat Mount Pleasant in that matchup. And how about with that, let's talk a little bit about hockey here. Our varsity hockey team here at North Catholic coming off of 3 wins in a row. Wins against Quaker Valley, Chartiers Valley, and then this past Tuesday against West Allegheny. Big wins in all 3 of those matchups as they came off 2 losses to North Hills in a shootout and then a loss to Moon. And the team has really turned itself around here of late. Some great goaltending by Dylan Bourque, who has really been remarkable, and we're going to hear from him in a second as I had a chance to sit down with him. And he's been absolutely incredible with a minimum of 3 games played in the PIHL in Class Single A this year. He has the best goals against average and the best save percentage of all goaltenders in Class Single A. And Ryan, as a prominent player on this team, Ryan, the leading point scorer so far, with 11 through 7 games. Having that confidence in your goaltender that he's going to be able to come out and make a save and have performances like he's had with it as of late, that has to give the team real confidence in playing in front of him, right?
Definitely, because we've had some bad periods this year, and he's helped us. He's stood strong in those periods. We've gotten outshot. Luckily, against West Allegheny, we were finally able to outshoot a team. Back-to-back Chartiers and West A, we both outshot. We got outshot in our loss to Moon, got outshot to Quaker. We won that game and then got outshot against North Hills. So it's good to start out shooting teams to help them out, but it definitely gives us a lot of confidence that we can get outshot some games. Obviously, we don't want to. We want to take steps to prevent that, but when we do get outshot, we got a good goaltender to back us up, and we know he can make the big saves to give us momentum, give us energy in games.
Absolutely. North Catholic gets a well-deserved rest over the next 2 weeks as they don't play till the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I believe that's the 22nd that they play against Avonworth at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. And that'll be on the North Catholic Sports Network. But for more on the season so far in the past couple of games, let's hear from Dylan Bourque. I'm here with junior goaltender for the North Catholic Trojans, Dylan Bourque. Dylan, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So, Dylan, in the 6 games that you've played so far, you're 5-0-1. You haven't lost a game in regulation up to this point, and you've only given up 8 goals total. 8 goals over those first 6 games that you've played. What has been different this year in your approach, maybe, to this season than it has been in years past?
Well, I guess maybe kind of the idea that the job's mine.
Yeah.
I would say, because last year was Shane and I.
Yes.
This year, it's kind of just me. So, I just got to come out here, have some confidence, stop some pucks, have fun with it.
And that was a back and forth last year. As you played about 8 games last year, but your play was fantastic even last year. And coming to this year, as you said, you having that confidence, you know that this is your net, this is your crease, this is your team. That has to give you confidence going into each game that you're the number one guy, right?
100%, yeah.
And so with the stats as they are so far, with a minimum of 3 games played right now in the PHL, you're the best goaltender in terms of save percentage and in terms of goals against average. And I'm sure the stats don't mean as much to you as the win column does. But what is your approach to looking at stats as a goaltender?
Well, the way I look at it is save percentage-wise, I would say anything above a 930 is good. And then goals against, anything below a 2 would be good for me. So, I always just try and go for the good numbers around there.
Yeah, man, your goals against average right now 1.38, save percentage 0.944. So you're well in the range of your parameters right there. But in the last 3 games, the team has won last 3 games that you've started. And again, that was against Quaker Valley, that was at Chartiers Valley, and then just last night against West Allegheny. What has been different in those last 3 games than it was maybe against that North Hills game that you started previous, as you lost that one in a shootout to North Hills? But what was different in the last 3 games that it's been in the past from your perspective as a goalie? Because you see the ice in such a unique way.
Well, to be honest, we're just working a lot harder. But, yeah, defensive-wise, we've been playing pretty well. We've been getting a lot of shots on net. All around, we've just been a great team.
And I know you can't give – I would say it's unusual to give goaltenders captain like a C or an A on the jersey. But the leadership that you've had in the past, even last year, really being the captain of each shift, because you're the one that's out there the most of any player on the team. And over the course of a game, what do you think is something that the goaltender can do to really give his team some confidence or maybe some insight over the course of a game to make adjustments depending on how the game's going? What's something that a goaltender can do?
Well, the way I look at it is, help your defenseman out. Like, if there's a rim, if there's a dump,
Yeah.
They're going to get the puck. You see the full ice. So just let them know. Let them know that you're there to support them and help them. And also right before a face-off, let your team know that you got you. Tell them to play strong. Just give them some motivation. Just know that you got their back.
Absolutely. And you definitely have had their back the entire year. And it's been a great start. And looking forward to seeing the rest of the year and what that holds. But, Dylan, we really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And you just heard from Dylan Bourque. Good interview, Alex.
He's excellent. He's so great to talk to and a great player and an even better person. And it's great to have him on the team.
Last year's finished up with cross country. They had a successful state run. They had 4 senior student athletes qualify and compete in states. was in Hershey, PA, so a nice little trip they got as well. Julia Zelensky placed 27th out of 243 competitors in the girls' 2A race.
Wow.
Which was just 2 spots and 4 seconds out of medaling. I mean, you think if you're 27th out of 243 in the States, you think that'd be good enough for a medal, but she was, I guess, it's top 25. Then make it, so she was 4 seconds away. Rigel Weekland placed 87th out of 246. He was followed by Joe Harmonis, who was 96, and Owen Schessler finished 24th overall to get the medal. First male state medalist since the school moved up to AA and in cross country since 2018.
Well, that's remarkable.
Or in 2018 when they moved up. Yeah,
That's
so first AA medalist for North Catholic in cross country.
At the state
state
level.
level.
That's excellent. And Owen Schessler, his times have been incredible this year. Really have been incredible. And what a career he's had here at North Catholic. And under the first year cross country head coach, it's a great start. And a great season for the cross country team. As now we're looking at track and field coming up in start of our spring season. That's coming up in
led by Alex Brown.
Not led by me, hardly. And Coach Terry will be there, and it's gonna be a great season there for the North Catholic track and field as we look forward to that. But great season by cross country, and that does it for this week's episode.
Back-to-back weeks of the podcast, and some good interviews on this one, and no interviews last week, but a couple weeks ago we had some good interviews as well.
And next week we are going to have a special guest on the podcast, Mr. Len Komarovsky, who is the former CEO and president of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Rock Management Group, which is also owned by the owner of the Cavs, Dan Gilbert. And we look forward to talking to him, an alum and now member of the North Catholic Board. And we look forward to talking to him next week, which is going to be a great conversation with Mr. Komarovsky.
Yep, definitely. Looking forward to that. We thank you all for listening. Make sure to listen to next week's podcast. Listen to any past podcasts as well.
Yes.
Watch the broadcast whenever they have occur. Not hockey for a while.
I think that's our next one.
22nd.
Yep.
Is the next broadcast. So make sure to listen. Alex will be play-by-play for that one. He'll be able to call with Callie Martis, Alex Jackson on that one. So make sure to watch that broadcast.
And maybe Ryan Berry will be on the ice, hopefully get another goal.
We thank you all for listening. Remember, we are your one-stop podcast for everything North Catholic athletics.